The Supreme Court has reiterated that non-closure of material information itself could be a ground for cancellation of employment or termination of services, as employers not obliged to ignore such defaults and shortcomings. The single-judge bench observed that the cases of non-disclosure of material information and of submitting false information have been treated as equal in the sense of gravity. The Apex Court has issued notice to the Centre on a plea seeking leniency in the adoption modalities in the country. A bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud issued notice to the Centre on the plea filed by the Temple of Healing through its Secretary Piyush Saxena. The petitioner has sought to issue direction to the Union of India for improving the number of adoptions in our country. The Supreme Court has held that forcible dispossession of private property is violative of both human rights and the constitutional fundamental rights of a person. The Supreme Court has held that directions issued by the central government are not binding on state universities and merely act as recommendatory for them. Next, we have the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court has held that a foreign national cannot be detained and denied benefits of Section 445 of CrPC on mere express by the prosecution that the accused may flee the course of justice. The High Court of Delhi has taken a dim view of the Delhi Minorities Commission opposing a petition by minority-run school that challenged the DMC's power to hear the matters of teacher appointment. The Delhi High Court, while recognizing the rights of visually impaired people, observed that as litigants, they are entitled to receive court documents in language they understand, that is, Braille. Next, we have the Allahabad High Court. The Allahabad High Court refused anticipatory bail to a POSCO accused of raping a minor girl and her mother, stating that if a person has been declared an absconder, claimed offender under Section 82 of CrPC, he is not entitled to anticipatory bail relief. Allahabad High Court has held that learning driving license and voter ID cannot be considered while ascertaining the age of juvenile. The Allahabad High Court has reiterated that a minor girl cannot be kept in protection home against her will, even at the instance of her parents and guardians. Next, we have the Bombay High Court. Dismissing challenge from constitutional validity of Section 29A Consumer Protection Act 1986, the Bombay High Court has ruled that the Consumer Forum members can pass judgment without its president, who is a judicial member. Next, we have the Punjab and Haryana High Court. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has said that if the wife is bent upon destroying the career and reputation of her husband by making complaints against him to his seniors, it would amount to mental cruelty and he would be entitled to a divorce. Next, we have Madhya Pradesh High Court. A division bench of the Madhya Pradesh High Court imposed a penalty of Rs 25,000 on the Chief Medical and Health Officer, Siddhi, for not replying to a petition alleging irregularities in a tender process in which he is a respondent. The Madhya Pradesh High Court has held that an award passed in defiance to principle of natural justice doesn't become binding. The single-judge bench observed that the above, while adjudicating upon a petition under Article 227 of the Constitution of India, filed in aggrieve of award passed by the Labour Court. Next, we have the Orissa High Court. The High Court of Orissa issued a directive to the Director General Prisons to ensure that toilets and wards of jails and sub-jails in the state are not wanting in cleanliness and hygiene. Further, the food quality has to be the best possible standard given the budget allocated for prisoners, both under trials and convicts. The court would like to emphasize not only has the quality of food to be good, but the quantity too in terms of required calorific value has to be ensured. Next, we have the Rajasthan High Court. The Rajasthan High Court has ruled that there is no statutory provision preventing establishment of toll plazas in close vicinity of villages, and thus same cannot be faulted. In significant observation, the Rajasthan High Court has held that denying convict prison parole to perform conjugal relationship, more particularly for the purpose of progeny, would be detrimental to the fundamental rights of his wife. Next, we have miscellaneous news. The Karnataka State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, while dismissing Pepsi's challenge to Additional District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum's decision, has affirmed that manufacturers cannot fix different MRPs for the same quantity and quality of a product. The District Forum, in the impugned order, had directed PepsiCo India's Holding Private Limited to fix the same MRP for the same quantity and quality of products such as water bottles, Pepsi cans and Nimbus bottles, and print only one MRP for all the things of equal quantities. Next, we have international news. The Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, found Russia violated international humanitarian law and committed human rights abuses while invading Ukraine. A top Pakistani court has dismissed the petition to register a treason case against former Prime Minister Imran Khan and various ministers, saying it was inadmissible. Chief Justice Athar Minala of Islamabad High Court delivered a reserved verdict, during which he also fined the petition Maulvi Iqbal Haider Rs 100,000, the Express Tribune newspaper reported. Former Goldman Sachs GSN bank Roger Ng was convicted by a US jury of conspiring to violate an anti-corruption law to help loot hundreds of millions of dollars of Malaysia's 1MDB development fund. A panel of the US Court of Appeals restored President Joe Biden's executive decision that made it mandatory for the federal civilian employees to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Thank you and have a nice day. This is a weekly program. To get more information, check the description box, and to get weekly updates, like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.